I was born in 1962, June 16, in England. I was brought back immediately. I've been here all my life. Went to school. Went to Mary Magdalene Primary School, Moluka Primary School. Went to about 3 or 4 primary schools. Went to Baptist Academy. Then I changed over to Igbobi College. My father withdrew me from school in protest for other students because Obasanjo put soldiers in school at that time. I was very happy, Sha. Now today, I understand how important education is for my son. So I make sure I encourage him to go to school. As a young boy, nobody, I don't think, out of 10 children, maybe 5, 6, 7 don't want to go to school. So we all don't want to go to school, but it's very important for parents to let their children see the importance of school. We have to understand education of today and education my father's time. So at the time my father went through Abeokuta Grammar School, came out, went to England, came back, came to Nigeria, saw what was going on. Probably he did not see, and then he was talking about the effects of colonialism on our people. He didn't want his children to have that kind of colonial mentality with this kind of colonial education. So he was very much against this kind of education. Because that's from my mother and my father too. He spoke very good English, so kids pick up very fast. If you put a kid in a house where there's an Igbo man, Hausa, Yoruba, Calabar man, you'll be surprised by the time he's 15, he will speak all those languages. He didn't take me out of school to become a layabout. I left school to study music, so I joined his band, and then he made sure I was reading books. I was reading books on autobiography of Malcolm X, Kwame Nkrumah, Lumumba, Marcus Garvey, how Europe underdeveloped Africa. Very big books like Black Man of the Nile, Stolen Legacy. I was reading any book. Then I was reading books on like Miles Davis, John Coltrane. So, and then I was watching a lot of movies on the blues, how the slave trade, anything to do with the slave trade, African history. So I'm very vast in our history or the slave trade era or what colonialism did to Africa, or all these things, which I try to pass on to my own children as well. I think the only regret I could probably have is I wish he taught me music. Now, I had to teach myself how to read and write music. So I'm very bad at it. Now, only me can understand what I'm saying. Now, I think if he as a father had, because he was classically trained, I think when parents teach their children, children grasp quicker and faster. So if he had had that time to be with his kids, I think probably I'll have no problem reading or writing music.
Now here we they carry all over Africa. Now the latest one. Now him they make me laugh. Austerity.
Before he died, and I asked him that same question, why he could have taught us. He asked me a question. He said, "Are you famous?" Wonder had come out. I was very famous. Are you making money? I was starting to make money. What's your problem? What does a man, can you feed your family? I was feeding my family. So all the credentials to be a successful man, I was starting to have. So he says he rests his case. It was more of vexation and frustration. I was just a very young, this was in I left my father in 86 to start my own band, Positive Force. I led his own band for 2 years when he was jailed by Idi Agmo and Buhari, 84 to 86. But I learned so much in the 6 years I was in his band. So at the time he came out, I was already very frustrated. I wanted to start to do my own thing, and I felt like I was imprisoned in his home. Now, by the time he came out, I was so independent-minded that to start taking instructions from anybody was now difficult. got angry one day. I told my sister, look, I need to break out on my own. I need to do my own things. I have this desire in me that I can't live under the same roof anymore. And she was, no, you have to spend time with her. And I just said, okay, I'm not going again. My whole house just went, you can't do. We are going to drag you back. I said, I'm not going. And everybody was saying, you are going crazy. You will go back. And it was a very big deal because in Africa, to fight your father or to be against your father, and a father like Fela, everybody turned against me. It was instant hatred, press. Maybe 1 or 2 press guys supported me, but it was, I mean, we'll have a concert, only 3 people will come to my show. It was for between 86 and 91. It was like impossible to survive. So I got my first international break, luckily, in '88. I think the greatest thing I could have done is building the shrine. I think at the time we built the shrine, when everybody was like, the old shrine was taken from us. It was in at the death of my father, there was so much stress. It was unbelievable. And then I lost my cousin, I lost my sister. I was now heading my own section of my mother's side of the family. Everybody was relying on me for so much. I had to keep on touring, and we had nowhere to play. Awards, the world music I won with in 2000, Bang Bang Bang. Grammy, then I would start to weigh all those. The Kura Awards was a very big deal, because I was the first Nigerian to win the Kura Awards then. I did not know much about the Kura Awards, so when I won it, I didn't know Nigerians took it. I didn't know it was a big deal. So we arrived, and we just saw thousands of Nigerians at the airport to welcome me. I was quite embarrassed, and they walked with me from the airport all the way to my father's house. I wish my father was still alive. I wish my sister was alive. I wish he was alive, because I would have loved Omori Made, my first son, to meet him. I think because kids need their grandparents. He played with me at 9. At 5, he was already playing. 9, he was touring with me. So I stopped it because he was now moving too much into the night business and leaving education. And I think education is very important. I think the best way for him to go is, in 10 years' time, if he's not musically trained, he probably will not find it as easy as me. Now, I'm probably just lucky. Now, he might not have that kind of luck. I'm not ready to take that risk with him. I won't take that risk with any of my kids. So I believe all of them might go into music. I have that feeling. There's Omori Made, there's Ayo Mide, there's Tumishe, there's Lade, and I have a newborn baby coming very soon. I want all of them to be in the, if not play music on stage as performing artists, I would like them to all be in the art business. Yes, that's very important, because first of all, I was probably the only one fighting for Fela on Broadway to come to Nigeria. Not to Nigeria per se, to the shrine. Now, so when it was held on Broadway, when it became successful, I protested by not going to watch it. Now the guy, Steve Handel, who is putting a lot of money behind this program, now says, he comes to my hotel room in New York and says, look, you have to come and watch this. The cast want you there. Everybody, how can you, Fela, so not come and watch this? I said, for only one reason, and I told you from day one. Yes, Fela on Broadway is great, but it's of no significance to me if Fela doesn't come to the shrine. I think it's very important to pay homage to the shrine. So you need to bring it. So he promised me that he will make sure it comes to the shrine. So that was the promise he gave me. So I now went to watch the performance on Broadway. And then I went to watch it in England. Remind him that you promised to bring it to the shrine. No? Now, I think they have done a deal with some people in Nigeria to bring it to Nigeria. I don't care where it goes. It has to come to the shrine.
You know, go ask me. Problems of inflation, problems of corruption, of mismanagement, still by government, still by government.
But I will stand firm. It must come to the shrine. Justice, Fela on Broadway must come to the shrine. Now, everybody thought I would lose the battle. I've won the battle. It's coming here. Now Nigerians, I read in some papers, are complaining, the play is too American, the play is too this, the play is too that. They are missing the point. First, the point is, Americans appreciated this man. They saw justice by taking this man and presenting this man to their people. They were not presenting Fela on Broadway to Nigeria or Nigerians in America. They wanted the average American to be able to understand the artists, the political activists, Fela and KUTI. His story is fascinating. This man married 27 wives in one day. The average American said, 27 wives in one day, God damn, what, you know, they will freak. So they wanted to take this man and present to the American public. If they take this man and present it the Nigerian way to the American public, the average American ain't going to understand what they're saying because they speak like, hey man, what am I telling you? Goddamn shit. If we speak like Nigerians to the American will be saying, what they say, what they say, and that play they will never understand. What they say, what they say. So they're taking this Nigerian and presenting it to the American public. Now, when you watch it from a neutral man's point of view, you will cry when you watch that performance. You will be like, you'll be fascinated. All the emotions you can think of will run down and you say, wow. If you watch it from a critical Nigerian perspective, of course you say, the girls are not Nigerians. Yeah. You are criticizing it foolishly. This is a man they have taken and put that the average person anywhere in this world will understand. I think it's not about that for me. It's about, if I meet my father, or I meet Kwame Nkrumah, or my mother, or people I admire when I die, I want them to go into heaven and meet these people with my head up. I want them to see me and say, wow, you did well. How do I do well? The only way to do well is to live a very honest life, a righteous life, and full of virtues. I must be as humble as possible. I must not be a leader of others, but a leader of myself. I must practice what I truly believe in. I think when a man or woman does all this, then everything else is irrelevant. When you walk that path of righteousness, it's not about your legacy. What am I going to take with me when I die? It's the moments I've shared, the good times I've shared. What am I going to leave behind? It's the good times I've shared with my loved ones as well. So my son, my sister, probably our daughter, if I die today, I will be a content person because so far I share those moments. They are so very important. Joking with my sister, those moments that we share with my son, kissing him, he tell me, Daddy, I love you. Seeing the little ones. Those moments are so precious to me. They mean more than anything else for me.